All right, hey everybody. This is Janie Coffey, Stacy. We've got Jennifer Mikish on, and this is our new Game Changers collaborative call that we are um, freshening up and trying to make everything fresh and very kind of timely for all the changes that are going on right now, all the opportunities for you guys. And one of those is really taking advantage of what EXP is giving us in our Canva um, upgraded account, our Canva Pro account. So I want to kind of take you guys through what a personal brand is, why you need to consider what your personal brand is, and then how to use the tools available to you, starting from what's totally free to what costs maybe a teeny bit of money to maybe what might be a little bit more of an investment, so that you can be thinking of, the next 1, 2, 3 years of your career and how can you really build out your brand, because that is something that makes you stand out, different from everybody else. I was at Sotheby's for 8 years. I was true blue. I always joked for 8 years. You could slip my wrist open and I would bleed blue. Like I loved that brand. But the thing with that brand is we all were the same. All our branding was the same. Our cards looked the same. Our yard signs looked the same. Everything looked the same. And I started to make a joke out of it. I said, we're kind of like just different cuts of khaki, right? Some people wear khaki skirts, some people wear flat-fronted khaki pants, some people have pleated like dad khaki, some people have khaki shorts, some people have cargo style, painter style khaki shorts. But it was all the same. And so it was harder and harder for agents to kind of stand out. Um, and it's one of the things that I was most attracted about at EXP is that we can really, really be our own brand and just be on the platform of EXP. But then they do give us a lot of tools to make it easy for us. So I want to jump on into that, but we're making this very collaborative. You can unmute yourself, you can ask questions. I'm going to do kind of a short overview of what you should be thinking about for your own branding. And then I'm going to give you an example of what the branding is that we're building out for our team, that we're in the process of building out. And then I'm going to show you all the tools available to you from EXP. So hopefully that sounds good and exciting for you guys. So we really want you guys to kind of figure out, oops, let me move this up here. Oh, hi, Karen. Hi, Jennifer. um, your own edge. Like, what is your own edge? What's the thing that's going to make you stand out? What is the thing that's going to make people remember you, think about you? And I have this little quote from William Arruda that says, personal branding is not about you. It's about putting your stamp on the value you deliver to others. So branding, in a way, it's like your storefront. If you go to a mall or you go to a shopping district and you're walking past all these different shops and stores and opportunities, you're not going to go in all of them. You're going to pick and choose which ones you're going to go in, which ones you're going to um, see if it's for you based on the storefront. So if you kind of imagine that branding is your storefront that's going to help people determine if they want to dig deeper about working with you, if they want to learn more. And this can translate not just to real estate sales, but everything else in your life. So it could translate to agent attraction. It could translate to anything else. So thinking about what is your personal brand and how do you want to show up for the world is going to help you really kind of dial that in. Um, so uh, hold on, I need to make this just a teeny bit smaller. Building a magnetic brand that attracts high value clients. So really think about it like we have over here. The brand that you build out, and brand is not just a logo, it's not just colors, it's not just fonts, it's the storefront of you. So it's kind of like the packaging of what you are, what you have to offer. It needs to build trust, it needs to build visibility, and it needs to build kind of an idea of what your expertise is. Like it needs to convey all of that. And when those three things kind of come together, that's when people start to develop a very strong understanding of who you are and what you have to offer. And so your kind of people show up and say, that's for me. Just like if you guys were, again, going through the mall, going through a shopping district, you'd pass some stores and you're like, that's not for me. just something about that storefront is saying that's not for me. And then all of a sudden you would get to a storefront, you're like, that's me. That's what I want to. My sister's on here. We live in downtown St. Augustine, and there is a shop called the Red Pineapple that Karen just loves. The storefront, everything about it, the everything, the things they have in the shop, because she's like, that's me. It's got a little bit of clothing, a little bit of home decor. So she gravitates to that. She always wants to go back to that. And that's what you want to build over time, is something that people gravitate to. They understand what it's about and they want to go back to you over and over. And it says 89% of clients say trust is the top reason for choosing an agent. So there's a lot that branding can do in advance of people meeting you, of people getting to know you personally, to help build that trust. Your brand is your reputation digitally and in person. Again, brand is not just logo. It's not just the aesthetics. It's the whole package. It's what people say when you're not in the room, what people think about you, what people refer you for. If somebody is talking to somebody and they need to sell something, one of my main things is historic downtown St. Augustine homes. That's become a big part of our brand. And if somebody's talking to somebody and they're looking for a listing agent for downtown historic St. Augustine homes, they're probably going to say, hey, talk to Karen and Janie, talk to Gorgeous Florida Homes, talk to the Coffey team. That's what they do. That's their specialty. It's embedded as part of our brand. And in a crowded market, you've got to stand out with clarity and consistency. And so what I mean by that is you can't have, one headshot over here, one font and color suite over here, one type of property that you serve over here, where everything is all, because nobody knows who you are, right? Nobody knows what is it about. And think of some of the main brands that you might think of that aren't real estate related, but product related, often the ones that you gravitate to, it's very clear what they do and they stand out. That might be shoes, that might be candles, that might be cars or something like that, but think about which ones have done a really good job with nailing their brand, nailing what they offer, who they help, and how they do it. So what is a personal brand? Like I said, it's not just a logo or a headshot. That's like a teeny tiny part of it. If you brand yourself really well, you could change that over time. And, some brands do change their logo over time. They upgrade it a little bit, but it's how people feel about you before you even walk in the room, how people refer or recommend you. It's a whole blend of your voice, your values, visuals, value proposition. I've dropped in this little palm tree here, and I'm going to show you guys in a little bit how we are building out a brand called the Gorgeous Florida Homes that's based on Florida, that's based on kind of the old Florida aesthetic, which is different than, like, say, the Miami glitzy aesthetic. And so we're building out everything kind of with that old Florida aesthetic for everything that we put out for ourselves, for our listings, for our team members. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. But we were very thoughtful in what would be kind of the iconography for our brand, and that's how we came up with the palm tree. But even which palm tree, you can see this is a kind of vintage looking palm tree. It's not like the super sleek palm tree. It's not a Art Deco palm tree that you might see, say, in Miami. It is very kind of specific, and it's giving that kind of undertones of that old Florida, a little wealthy, a little old money. And that's kind of what we're trying to convey with the brand that we're building out. You have to think about the brand that you're wanting to build out. So as you're crafting your brand identity, you need to think about, like, who do I want to attract? Who do I want to be walking by my storefront and say, that's my person, that they understand me, that's my vibe. Like, what do I want to be known for? So in our case, we want to be known, at least between me and Karen, we want to be known for historic properties or equestrian properties or something kind of wrapped up in that old Florida lifestyle. And then what do I not want to be associated with? That's part of your brand too, because you want to repel the people who are not your people and you want to attract the people who are your people. Again, think about this too in the eyes of agent attraction and everything. Look at the influencers out there at eXp who have built strong brands around themselves, who are strong influencers. They have very clear brands. Their brand voice, meaning how they sound, what they talk about, their aesthetic, their vibe, that's all part part of their brand. And the right people are attracted to them, and the people that aren't a good fit are not attracted to them. Go ahead, Karen.
I had a fun fact to share everybody about branding. It's not about real estate, but it's about Cadillac. So if you ever watch the Cadillac commercials, pay attention where they film it. They film it on old cobblestone roads in New York City. And I've been there because I used to work there. They blocked off the streets because that's like old money. That's like it goes back in time. The brand's been there for a long time. So just wanted to share a little fun tidbit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's setting the whole vibe. It's setting the whole vibe. And if you also start to get into vibe with your chat GPT or something like that, your chat GPT can start to understand your voice, start to understand your vibe, start to understand how you want to show up. I even asked my chat GPT, whose name is Atlas. I asked my chat GPT to name itself, and it named itself Atlas because it knows I like to travel. I said, Atlas, can you select like 20 emojis that are most like me, that are unique and that are a little bit different than, the most common emojis. And it pulled up 20 or so different emojis that are different. They're a little fun. They're a little whimsical because they're like me. So that's what I'm saying. Branding is so much more than just a logo, just a font, just colors. It's all these little micro touches that are making you stand out as just you. So I said, Atlas, can you please give me a sample brand positioning statement? And this is specific to my coaching, not to my sales side of business, but it says, I help ambitious real estate agents break into and thrive in the luxury market by combining proven strategy, elevated branding, and soulful leadership so they can build a business they love and a life of freedom. I didn't change a thing about what Atlas gave me with this positioning statement because it understood already, because I've been working with them for a while, but it understood already what my vibe is. Who do I want to touch? What do I want to do for agents? And you see, it also is also kind of in a way positioning like who I don't want to be associated with, because some people are really going to vibe with this statement here and some people aren't. So start to think about like, who do you want to be? Who do you want to show up for in the world? What do you want to offer for again, your sales or also your attraction? And then who do you want to repel? That's totally okay. We don't want to be everything to everybody because then we're nothing. We're like mud. We want to be very specific to us and our unique voice and our unique offering to the world. So in Canva, you can create your own vision, your own identity toolkit. And I'm going to show you ours. I'm going to show you a larger version of a brand kit that we're building out for Gorgeous Florida Homes. And I'm going to show you how to access those within Canva. EXP's already built them out, EXP's versions, and then you can make your own on top of that. And I'm going to show you how that looks. But this is an example of, this is within my Canva. We have a Gorgeous Florida Homes brand kit where we have all our logos. We have the colors that we want to use. We have our own color palette. And what we did, because we do a lot with EXP's luxury division, we took EXP's luxury division colors and then took that old Florida kind of old money aesthetic that we wanted and pulled in a few extra colors, which you'll see kind of right here, which also kind of works with we have, everything is so much water where we are that a lot of our images have water. So we pulled in these extra colors that we want to kind of pop in here and there. And we have a few other colors I'll show you in a minute. But that's saved right in Canva. So when I go to use Canva, or Karen goes to use Canva, or our graphic designer goes to use Canva, that's kind of auto-populated. And I'm going to show you where that is too, so that you can do the same thing for yourself, where you can also access the ones from EXP. And then if you end up being a member of the luxury division at EXP or the land and ranch division of EXP, they have those as well. But you will have some signature colors. You will have a few fonts, 2 or 3 fonts. If you want to make it super easy for yourself, I'll show you the EXP ones, you would use their basic colors and then you would add like two kind of accent colors for you. I would use EXP's basic fonts or EXP Luxury Division basic fonts, so you don't have to think that much about fonts. And then when you're going to use something from their templates, it just already blends seamlessly. They put so much work into it that let's make it super easy for you. You also want to start to get an eye for what your photography style is. And then social media, how is that going to look? Start to get a vision of how that all comes together. So I'll get into the samples here in a minute, but let me, oops, hold on. Stacy, do we go to 145 or to 2? I don't remember.
145.
Okay. So the other thing is you also want to think about your tone. Like, how does your tone in both your speaking tone, I don't mean your tone of voice, but the tone of what you say, the actual words that you put together, how does that work with the brand that you're creating? And you want to think about things that can convert. So for me, I want to be a little bit warm versus formal. I want to be luxury and approachable. I want my voice to match everything that I'm building out. So for example, this is just a tone of, say, a listing description. Just listed, beautiful 4-3 bath and great neighborhood. Message me for more information or schedule a showing. There's no brand in that. Anybody could have written that. It's the most basic, boring description. I could take then the same thing and say, a serene blend of elegance and ease. This timeless 4-bedroom retreat invites you to slow down, stretch out, and savor every detail from vaulted ceilings to sun-drenched living spaces. Whispering Oaks DM details for a private tour. Now, that sounds interesting. That sounds enticing. The one thing I would say is sometimes you can definitely see where somebody's used ChatGPT to write a listing description for them, and then it doesn't really match the property. They're either overly flowy or they're overly, you know, wordy, or they build up the property to be something it's not. So you have to continue to keep trust by making your descriptions be elevated or match your vibe, whatever your vibe is. Your vibe might be kind of saucy and cute, so that's part of your brand, but also match the property. So just keep that in mind. There was, when I was still selling real estate in Miami, long before the days of ChatGPT, there was an agent. She's still in sales. I won't say her name, but she wrote the most over the top, flowery, silly listing descriptions, but she was like all into it. Like this was her big thing. And every time my business partner at the time and I would get an email from her, with her descriptions, we would read them to each other because it was like really over the top. It was really funny. But anyway, consistency builds trust. So using that same palette, using that same look, that same vibe, that same thing across all your aesthetics becomes really, really important in your social media, in your cards, in your signs, in your emails, your website, your listing presentation. I just grabbed 3 little snapshot images of our Gorgeous Florida Homes brand that we're building out to show you how these soft, muted, sun-drenched green tones. Remember when I went back and showed you guys how, we've got blues and greens are kind of what we're trying to pop, and the golds. That's very intentional. We're wanting to have that sun-drenched ease, old money kind of look of everything like that. So we have that across the board for everything that we put out. So I'm going to talk about next steps, and then I'm going to show you some examples of the brand we're building just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And then I'll show you how you can use EXP, Canva, everything available to you. My puppy's being a little ambitious right now. Sorry. So your next steps would be to audit your current brand if you have one. If you don't yet, that's okay. There's tons and tons. You could probably very easily Google ChatGPT prompts to help me develop my real estate brand. And it's going to come up with some prompts that are going to walk you right through and You would answer the questions and then it would come back and probably give you some things to think about, maybe some iconography, like we have the little palm tree, maybe some colors, some tones, even some fonts, how your voice should sound, maybe even down to your emojis. You would define 3 brand words. So we didn't do that, but I would say our brand terms would be old Florida, old money, and like, peaceful, easy living. Like that's what we're all about here in Florida, and what we promote. You would have 3 core content pillars. So mine and Karen's core content pillars: historic homes, waterfront homes, and equestrian homes. Those are, and then all the lifestyles around them are kind of our 3 main things. We update our profiles, like you would want to update your profile once you name this, and then you would want to create, sorry, hold on one second. Stop, stop, stop. I have a 4-month puppy. It's a little bit wild. Um, so let me show you what our brand kit looks like and what it looks like in Canva to create the brand kit. This is the ones in EXP. So when you log into Canva through Okta, you go over here, stop. You go over here to brand and then brand kits, and there's all these different brand kits. So there's, because I belong to the luxury division, that pops up here. If I belong to land and ranch or farm and ranch, it would pop up here. So let me just open this, and then this is the basic EXP or the general EXP. These are the brand colors. As you can see, they got rid of the orange. So if you're having that orange in anything, get rid of it. Orange is no longer any part of EXP's brand colors. And even though they have this royal blue still, you will notice they're really doing very little at the corporate level with the royal blue. They're using now this dark navy and this dark navy. This is the same dark navy, it's just 80%, so it's toned down a teeny bit, but they're doing this very rich navy. They did that rebrand last year. So then they have the fonts, the different fonts. And so if I were working on something, I can just, they have a bunch of graphics in here you can use. But if I, and then down here are the icons you can pull on, the X's and different things like that. But if I were working with something, I would just have that brand kit open, and then automatically those colors, those fonts, hold on one second, stop, would be available to me. Let me go back and show you, for example, what does the luxury one look like? And so remember, I showed you a version of our gorgeous Florida homes one. It's the same way. We have all our logos are loaded up. Our little icon pieces of like that little palm tree is loaded up. Here's the colors for EXP Luxury. And as you see, those blend a lot with, let me, is this over here? Blends a lot with the one we created with Gorgeous Florida Homes. Before we get off Canva here and I show you the samples, another thing I want to make sure you see is when you're in and you log in there through Okta. If you just go to EXP Okta, you can log into your EXP's version of Canva. And then if you have your own Canva, like we have our own team Canva that Karen and I use together, you can toggle back and forth between those. I think it's under this thing right here. Yeah, I know it's showing up this annotate thing. I don't know if you guys can see that, but right here, there's the thing where I can toggle back and forth between the accounts. But if I'm on, say, the regular one, I can do the brand kit, but then we have all the templates, tons and tons and tons of templates available for postcards, listing presentations, social media pieces, tons and tons of templates. But let's say I had added my own brand kit in here, and I took the same colors from EXP, but then I added a few of my accent colors. I could drop in templates and then, let's say, open this up. And then I said, I want to use this brand template. Yes, please. Oh, I don't want to do that. If I jumped on this, then if I had my colors here, it would open up my brand colors. See, I can choose from the different kits depending, so I can have my own kit there, and then it has those colors available to me. So I can change that. I can move around. That's where I can have like my little iconography and stuff loaded up in there. It just makes it super, super easy. Same thing, like I said, if I wanted to use the EXP's luxury stuff, hold on, let me go back over here. See, it just makes it very easy because the colors are just right here. The logos are right here. The different fonts, so all the fonts are in alignment, just makes it super, super easy. If you haven't yet, under this apps section, this is on Canva, you have to make sure to add, hold on. Let me get off of this thing. In the app section, you have to make sure that you add EXP listings. App, EXP listings. And with that app, once you load it, use an existing design. Yes, okay, fine. It will automatically, you can drop in the MLS number from your listing and it will connect with the MLS as long as it's actively listed, and it will pull up the photos from your listing, the description, everything like that, so you can copy and paste them or drag and drop them right into your listing. So you don't have to upload all your listings or something like that, which makes it so, so, so cool. So let me just walk you through a few samples of what we have here at Gorgeous Florida Homes, just to give you an idea of how we've pulled our brand all together, and then some really low cost additional resources if you want to start to build your own brand on top of what EXP offers. So we've created, let's see here. We've created, well, we're in the process of creating, we're not quite done. A brand kit, much more built out than just, you know, the fonts and the colors that I showed you. But we've built a whole brand guide for the members who are part of our team, where we talk about what is Gorgeous Florida Homes, what do we stand for, how do you use this guide. We have all kinds of information in here, personality of the brand, where, you know, we cover the whole state. So we talk about, hey, we're all about old Florida and we're all about that lifestyle. So we talk about that. We talk about here's you, Stacy, in the network. We talk about how we build a lot up on lifestyle. We talk about the colors and the visuals that we think would be really good. And so, like I said, here's those blue greens that we talk about, and this orange is our little teeny accent color that we like to use. Here's that navy blue from EXP, how they've trended over to that navy. And here's that orange. Like I said, we've got the blues, but then we have that little pop of orange. So we show people what they look like with different tonality. We've got the gold, the black. Again, we've blended this with EXP's luxury. So at any given time, we can use EXP's luxury. I think I can go over here in a minute and show you. They come up with beautiful, beautiful templates all the time for social media, for certain holidays and things like that. So we can very easily use their stuff along with our stuff, and it all looks very kind of blended and it works super, super well. You know, our website. So you see there's kind of a strong brand across everything that we touch. Hold on one sec. I pulled up a couple things that I wanted to show you guys. Here's this is for our expireds when we're working on getting expireds. You can see our palm tree is showing up throughout those colors, that fonts, that navy blue that we've talked about. So you can see throughout anything we do, we're blending in that look and that feel. And it builds consistency and it builds trust, because when people see our postcards, here's some samples of different fronts for sold postcards. And then with the back, we've got our palm tree again. But again, everything is very kind of consistent. It builds trust. As you see, we do a lot of historic properties. That's our vibe. And so it's all kind of blended. So be thinking about what is your what is your vibe that you're trying to convey? What would be kind of enticing for the people that you're wanting to work with? If it's buyers and sellers, that's one thing. If it's other agents for agent attraction, that's something too. You know, Mike Sherrard has built a very strong brand. You're very clear what his brand is. If I say, what color is Mike Sherrard's color? Any of you guys could probably answer, right? What color is it? Purple, right? Royal purple. What color's Go-Go's color? Pink. Like they've both created very strong brands around themselves. Girls with Grit has done an amazing job creating a brand around themselves. So just think about, what is your brand? How do you want to show up for the world? So hold on one, wanted to show you back. Just wanted to show you some of the luxury division uh templates, so you see what I'm talking about with social media, and then we can open it up for questions. They've done a really good job building that all out. Let me see, where's the luxury templates? Let me see here. So you see the luxury division, they have a very similar vibe to what we've created. Their vibe is a little bit more dark and moody. We've made ours, because we're in Florida, a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, but still with a softened down tone, leading with imagery. And so, but we've done it intentionally so that anything we share, anything we come up with, can blend easily with the luxury pieces as well. But they have tons and tons of beautiful things as well. And the Landed Ranch is coming out with some gorgeous, gorgeous pieces that are very interchangeable. So the final thing I wanted to show you, if you're not familiar with this website, Etsy, ETSY, they have a ton of very, very affordable real estate templates that you can purchase, very, very affordable. Like this whole pack of 46,000 templates is only $39. The one thing you want to do if you're going to purchase something from Etsy is make sure that it has like the Canva, that it says it's Canva. It works with Canva. So if I wanted, say, luxury real estate template, luxury real estate postcards, let's say. Oops. So then it's going to pull up a ton of different luxury real estate templates, and maybe I would scroll through here. Now look, these have this is some real estate real templates, but if I were working from my brand, which I showed you guys was kind of that sun-kissed kind of muted tones, I would say, oh, these reels actually look a lot like my tone, and these are good with Canva. So I might look over here. And here's a whole bunch, 400 plus real estate reel templates for only $37. You can see that works very much along with the brand that I showed you that we've created for Gorgeous Florida Homes. They have all these different things, what's included, and for $37 one time, you could get access to these templates, load them up in your Canva account, and have them used forever. And you can change, you know, if these fonts, for example, wasn't your font, wasn't your preferred font, you can change those. Everything is changeable. They're just templates. But there's tons and tons and tons of things in Etsy. Postcards, listing presentations, seller net sheets, CMA presentations. Like these postcards are beautiful. You know, if I needed some postcard templates and I wanted something to stand out a little bit, I might, you know, go ahead and get this template package from Etsy. Just about anything you need, market reports, anything, social media pieces, postcards, brochures, anything. So I would look at that and get a few, once you've just decided what your kind of accent colors are that you want to work with, what EXP offers, look through here and get a few pieces, load them up in your Canva, create your own media kit, brand kit with your specific additional colors, and just everything is so easy. Easy. You do not have to be a designer. You don't have to be something, and you'll start to stand out. Like I think about Nancy Batchelor in Miami. She almost uses this Etsy color orange. I don't even have to read anything that comes from her. If it comes in an email or I see a sign, I know that's her. Or there's a guy in EXP, I think his name is Landon something. He uses that old fashioned preppy Kelly green and hot pink, but he's kind of blended that all out too with the EXP branding. So whenever I see something from him, I was like, oh, I know that's him. He even often wears either a green blazer or a bright pink tie in his photos. So it's all on brand. So I just really encourage you guys to, play with this branding stuff, play with kind of what is your vibe, who are you wanting to be when you show up in the world, and how can you kind of let that come through in your social media, whether you're engaging with other agents, whether you're engaging with buyers and sellers, so that you become kind of consistent. People know what you are, people know what you are about. They have an idea, and like I said, use it as kind of like your storefront to the world. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and then if you guys have anything, we just have a few minutes. We can pop in. Oh, hi, Gabby. Gabby's on here. She's our brand strategist. Um, so you can ask her questions probably better than me. But anyway, any questions on any of that?
If you could just go over quickly again that in the apps section, adding the EXP
Yeah.
listings.
Yeah, let me share again.
MLS.
Yeah, that's super easy. So when you have your Canva up, your EXP Canva, it has to be your EXP account. It can't be your personal account. Let me make sure I'm in that one. Yep. So when you're in your EXP account, go on the left sidebar over to apps right here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Type in the word EXP listings. Okay. And then this is going to come up. That app is going to come up. So you'll open it and you'll say, use this in an existing design or use this in a new design. I'm going to say, let's say, use this in an existing design. Stop. I'm going to say, use this in an existing design. Maybe I've already started it. I'm going to say, use this in the under contract Instagram account that I started. Use this here. Now I need to find, hold on one second. I need to find the MLS number.
And now they hide it.
We do. Go back to Canva, drop in that MLS number. So it found it, and then it automatically pulls up all the pictures. So that's a little irritating because this agent, this is for a rental, for a listing we sold, and that's my photo. So don't do that. Don't use photos that aren't yours. Yeah, that's super irritating. Because we've already sold this. But let's pretend it was our listing, and you just, hold on, drag and drop, and then if you double click on Canva, it opens up the whole thing so you can figure out if you want to slide this over or something like that. You're not stuck with exactly how it loaded it, because maybe it loads it and the house is way over to the side. You're like, no, I want it to be more like this. And then on here with the brand guide, let's say I wanted to change these colors. If I hit this, it's going to pull up my brand colors. I have this loaded right now as EXP Luxury, right? So it makes it super easy. And then within that EXP listings, it also has the listing detail. So you can just copy and paste the description. And And then agent assets. So if you've already uploaded your own profile information, everything, it's all right here. So it just makes it so easy for you, or if you hire a VA to do something, it's all right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So like, see, I would just drag that, drop it in there. And it's all right there. So it's a great tool. It's a great, great tool. Karen or Gabby, anything you guys want to add about branding and what we're working on creating with the Gorgeous Florida Homes?
Well, I think you covered Gorgeous Florida Homes, right? Well, we're making it a little bit more editorial like our Instagram now, starting, I guess, when Gabby does a new post. So we're making it, hopefully we're trying to make every post, the front, look like a magazine cover. With doing a little more fun of a font, or making, like, if you look at a magazine, you see like on the side, they'll have something about what's inside the magazine, and then adding in more beautiful editorial photos of Florida or lifestyle or things like that.
Yeah, here's,
Well, we haven't.
but this at least shows that we're trying to blend, because with this Instagram specifically, we're showing off our different agent members. We're showing off some, old Florida imagery, different areas that we cover, successes that our agents have had, different listings by our agents, just some more lifestyle pieces. Here's a piece from, I believe this is from EXP's Luxury, so we were able to use that without having to create a Cinco de Mayo piece from scratch. And you see it just blends. Like, that was our whole goal, was to create a brand that blended very easily with EXP Luxury's branding. But you don't have, I mean, if you're not part of the luxury division, do the same thing, but with EXP's regular branding, with the navy blues, the grays, the whites, the blacks. It just makes your life so much easier when you can use their assets too, on top of having to create everything from scratch. So.
Gabby might be able to talk more about branding. I have something to share, but it's not related to real estate. But it's related to.
You can share it real fast and then we'll probably wrap up.
So during the recession, I worked at my favorite store called Anthropologie, and I hope everybody knows about it. They are huge on branding. I mean, massive. They spend so much money on branding and making the experience when everybody comes into the store something new. Like, their storefronts change every month. They move all the merchandising around the store, which is irritating for the workers. So whenever new people come, so whenever your shopping experience, say you go there every 4 months, it's a totally new store to you. But they name all their different sections, and then their displays are insanely creative. You can actually buy some of them if you want to. But they spend a lot of time making it to be a whole experience for the customer, not just going into Macy's and buying a dress. Like, you're in awe of their creativity, the clothing, the home stuff. You just get addicted to it, how it smells. And they're very about top-notch customer service. Like the Ritz-Carlton, I think, is the, if you know anything about branding, that is the premium of customer service. So we try to also give that to our customers, the white glove service. Like, if you go into a grocery store, have you ever asked somebody, or a Target, where something is, and they just point you in the direction? You're like, okay, I don't even know where row 77 is and whatever. But at Anthropologie, they would walk you to the spot so you know where it is, not just like throw you off there. Or, if they see that you're looking around for something, they actually stop and help you. So we try to implement that with our branding as well, and make it a nice experience. And we go to all our inspections, even though I've been yelled at by another realtor as to why I go. We just give everybody a handheld experience. So that's a part of our branding as well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys got some value out of this and thinking about how branding is like every bit of what you touch and how people experience you even before they've met you and how it can really make you stand out. As your vibe, as who you are. And so, yeah. And Gabby on here, she's our wizard who helps us
Hi.
create so much.
Hello, hello. Hi.
She's really great.
I'm shy, but I'm glad that you're showing all of our work.
Yeah. No, she's our chat GPT. Like we explained what we want. She came up with it. So
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's funny.
beautiful.
So you never know who's looking at your social media. And I'm a little bit shy about social media. And I have friends who are like, oh, every listing you have is like multi-million dollars, Karen. And I'm like, what? I'm like, not really. But I just like, that's the appearance of what people think. So we have a lot of agents who are with Gorgeous Florida Homes, like you, RJ, and they share everything we post. So when they see Gorgeous Florida Homes, they think it's your listing. Like I had a friend drive by one of our agents' listings on A1A, and she's like, "Oh, I saw your listing over on A1A," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't have one over there, but it's Gorgeous Florida Homes, right?" So people recognize it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's important too to have something that stands out that's not just EXP. You want to be branding something for yourself or your team or your group or whomever. So, because now people think Karen has all these listings all over the, as she's saying, they're not necessarily, but just sharing them on social media, people seeing the signs, it it creates breadcrumbs, right? Hi, Gabby.
Yeah, and then I have another friend who's in real estate, and she's like, "Oh, you're in a different level. You do very high end stuff." And I just like laugh to myself. I don't say anything, but I'm like, "Yeah, she thinks so because that's what we share, or we make it look nice, even if it's a crap hole. I mean, we make it look nice.
We do.
We have some investment houses we've sold, and but we make it look good. Like well, maybe we'll do that in black and white. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
No.
that's what we do. That's our trick.
I mean, but you want to show that you're doing work. That you're showing stuff.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, I think we went a little bit over, so
Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Janie.
Oh, can someone else come to this meeting or is this just EXP? This one?
no, we are making it open to guests.
Oh, okay. Well, they're EXP, but they're
No, they
not
can do. I
part of
think, you know,
Okay. I just wanted to invite Carly.
yeah, no, absolutely. And, RJ, that might be something that, again, with the co-sponsorship, when people are seeing what you have to offer and the things that, are available, might make something attractive to her too. So we want to help everybody.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Good night,
Great
Gabby.
call.
You didn't see the network that you were in the brand guide, Stacy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love
So,
it. All right. We'll see you guys. Take
bye.
care. Bye.